Hey buddies, welcome to AmassGames. My name is Simon. Today we're looking at Dominion by Dominic X Vaccarino. This is the second edition. It's by Rio Grande Games. This is a deck building game. If you've never heard of the phrase before, or perhaps even have, this is the first one ever to come out, and I still regard it as perhaps the best, if not one of the best. Definitely in the top 4 of all time. So we have this trash board. If you need to trash any cards, if you're familiar with deck building or aware of that term, they can go on here. I don't tend to use it on here. Sometimes I use it more frequently, but that is what it is. Now, there's a bit of a space to take up, so I won't show you everything, but you can see every card goes in here, the little piece of paper that you plonk in here too, just so you put things away. And everything I have sleeved up, everything does fit in sleeved as well. But let's talk about currency. You'll be buying cards, and you'll be using currency to do that. You've got copper cards here. Now, some cards I'm going to have sleeved. Some people don't like the shine, so maybe you'll see how they work with and without the shine. But we have copper cards are the cheapest cards that you can get and the cards to start off with. You have silver cards. Let's put this clear one or without the sleevingness on the top first off as well. And you're also going to have gold cards. Now check out my sleeving playlist as well. So there we go. We've got some various cards from currency we're going to be playing with. But this is a game whereby you'll play until 3 decks are empty. You immediately end the game at that point and you see who has got the most victory points. So let's go back into this box to show you what else you need to grab out of here too. You're going to need some estates. Everybody is going to be taking 3 of these estate cards. And then you are going to be shuffling these up along with 7 copper cards and then see what you're going to start off with for your starting hand. So 7 and 3, let's just do that now and see what we can buy. We'll get that marked out in a second. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Standard deck building games will involve you normally having 10 cards, usually currency cards and then something else, which is kind of inert. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I've got 5 starting cards. Don't worry about the fact that some of them aren't sleeved. And what I tend to do is you're going to have an ABC effect, you're going to have an action effect, you're going to have a buy effect, and then have a cleanup. So speaking about what we've got in our hand, we have currently got something we can buy. We've got 4 cards we can buy with, and something that does nothing, which is why I put it at the back. Now, in every single game of Dominion, you're going to have 10 cards to buy from, and there's various different scenarios. I have played through every single scenario, so that's why I'm filming at this time of recording, and I've played all player counts too. So most recently, I've played with silver and gold, so I'll just bring out some cards and show you how that's going to work. But you can mix and match and even use randomizers as well. So various things you can do. So let's get 10 of each. There's always 10 of each cards. 10 chapel cards and put them into shots slightly. We've also got Harbinger. What I tend to do is do them in a numerical value as opposed to alphabetical value. They are listed in alphabetical value. So in terms of you trying to find things, that's usually the better of doing it. So we've got various things we can purchase. The costs are listed at the bottom left of the card. If you have any questions, always do let me know via the comments best on YouTube. Like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell. Now, for some reason, some of these cards are not sorted. I'm not quite sure what happened there. But you can see I've sleeved these. These are using May Day sleeves in particular. Some various other cards just to show you. Like I said, not everything needs to be shown, but just to give you a gist. So let's just show you some costs. We've also got cards, they go up to various values, normally up to 5 or 6. This one just goes up to 5, but 6 isn't uncommon. And you also have various costs you can buy over here. You can buy these cards too. You can also buy these victory point cards. It's very important because you'll not win the game without them. But as you'll notice, if you buy them too soon, they're not going to do much. They're, like I said, they're going to clog up your hand and be, in some respect, worthless for the time being. So the most expensive card you can buy are these cards. They're worth 6 victory points. It's going to cost you 8 money, though. Whereas the Duchy is going to cost you 5 of the coins, and it's going to give you 3 victory points. So that's going to leave it out of the shot slightly. I can say it is getting a bit congested, I can see. But we've got 4 cards or 4 money we can buy something with. So I can only buy one thing. I have 1 buy action. Some of these cards do list 2, but in this particular scenario, it doesn't allow a second buy action. So I could buy this card and get no change. So maybe I buy something like this or this one. This one gains, so it's going to go into my hand like this, and it's going to go into my discard pile. That is to clean up the ABC step. So these cards are now put away. Like I said, let's just make some space. That's my discard pile. Again, that would normally be out of shot. I'm then going to draw up the rest of my hand. Again, I've played out 5 cards. I've got 5 cards left. Everyone else is going to take their turn. It's going to come back to me as an example. Can't do anything with these. I've got 3 to spend. Let's just say I buy Harbinger. And now, in terms of cleanup, I've got my 5 cards, my other 5 discard cards. I've got no hand to draw from, no deck. So you're going to shuffle up. tend to do shuffles of 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I think 7 is usually the standard key to ensure you get enough variety. We've got, again, a duff card. It's worth a point at the end of the game. We'll come back onto that. We've got some money. So now let's have said ABC. So clean up. We have the buy. We have the action. This is an action card because it has got action written on it. And in this case, what we can do here is do something. This lets me draw an additional card. So take an additional card, and now I've got, in this case, it's useless. But I can now also take an action. So I've got this action here. If I draw on another card which has got action written on it, I can play it out too, and maybe it gives me another action. In this case, I can look through your discard pile. I don't have one at this moment. I put a card from it onto your deck. Again, I can't do anything with it, but now I can move on to the buy phase. I can buy a card for 3. Instead, let's just get this card and take this over here, move over here. And now, again, someone else is going to take their turn. Meanwhile, I can pretty much get all my cards laid out. I tend to always have it visible. It hasn't impacted the game. I've now got myself, again, another buy action of 3, and I've got a bureaucrat. So when it's back to my turn, gain a silver onto the deck. So I take a silver, this goes on top of my deck. Each other player must reveal a victory point card, that's a green card, and therefore place on top of their deck as well. So it's going to make it hinder them because, again, these are inert cards. Again, what I could be doing with these 3 coins is maybe buying myself another estate for 2. But again, at this point, it's kind of a bit duff. So for 3, I maybe buy something else. Let's buy a merchant, vary it a bit. And therefore, again, shuffle up and put these over here. When it comes back to my turn, I've got 2 cards. So it needs to be ready. So again, cleanup phase is to shuffle up and get ready to have the next hand to go. 3, 4, 5. I've got 5 cards. Let's see what I can do on my next turn. I've now got more money. So I've got 2, 3, 4, 5, and a bureaucrat. So again, I've got my action phase first. So you do this first. So first up, I can gain a silver if I want to. Don't have to. Put it here. Everyone else has to reveal themselves, obviously, a green card and place on top of their deck. If they've got one, if they haven't got one, they just need to show me in their hand. I've got 5. Let's say I buy myself a duchy card. So I buy myself a duke. This one is going to go again into my discard pile. So it's all been discarded. This has all been spent. And I now know, of course, I've got a silver coming round. So that is going to clog up my hand, but I've got myself some victory points. Again, we're in 3 different decks. There's 10 market cards. These 2 got copper as well. You've got these, which I tend to find tend to go. These ones and these ones tend to disappear amongst the 3, and therefore, again, you're going to count up how many points you've got from these. Whoever has the most points in total is going to be the winner. In case of a tie, it's going to go into the person later in the turn order who happens to have been in a tiebreak. It will be the winner. What do I think of the game? Well, like I said, I think it's absolutely amazing. 9 out of 10, lots of variety, 8 starting scenarios I think there is, as well as, of course, randomizers you can pick, and which, let me show you how that looks. That's this deck here. So you look through them, it's a different back. You can just pick 10 of your choice. Generally speaking, I'm happy actually to play with what they can provide. Lots of expansions I'll be telling you about as well. So again, keep checking it out for that as well as the Rio Grande playlist. Okay, many other games by Rio Grande you can find on the channel as well. So please make sure you check them out, including Findorf and numerous other games coming too. So keep an eye on that. But like I said, very impressed with this one. Such an innovative idea, I think 2008. And yeah, highly recommend. I think they win the Spiel des Jahres as well. So check out my Spiel des Jahres playlist. I need to make sure I plop this in there as well. Again, the artwork is a little staid in places. I know, like Ryan Lockett and everyone is actually listed the bottom left, depending on who it is. So I know that Ryan Lockett's behind this artwork. It's the only thing that holds me back slightly, and the fact that sometimes you play out a card, such as this one gives you another card if you can play it, and if you happen to be drawing, let's say, another card which happens to be an action card, you just need to make sure that when you play it out, it's kind of covering it or doing something to show that you really played it, and be aware of the fact some of these cards give you money, so you need to be aware that sometimes you've got money in addition to coins you've already brought out as a card, and sometimes keep an eye on the fact that some of these cards have double actions, so you can bring out another card. So you do need to audit it a little carefully, to be aware of that. The game duration isn't too bad. I think it says 30 minutes. I think that is really, I think, generous. I think more likely it's more like to be maybe 45 minutes to an hour. Again, you can have some fast games of it. It is difficult to know actually who is winning, which is not necessarily a bad thing. And I can find games can be close, like within a 6-point or 12-point swing due to provinces, etc. But building up your engine, you need to be knowing when you fancy switching to actually getting some victory point cards. Wait too long and you'll start making a fantastic engine, but it's just too late. You haven't scuppered enough points and somebody might just quickly deplete a deck as well. So this is very messy layout. I do apologize. I think that is the nature of a deck building style game. There's no actual, I guess, play mat, so that you can have cards in a nice, neat order. But hopefully you do find this of interest, and hopefully you'll let me know as well. But thanks very much for watching. This has been Dominion, a fantastic, I guess, evergreen game that will go out throughout time as, you know, the very first deck building game, and one you should check out too. So thanks for watching. This has been Dominion. Speak again soon, but for now, back to the table.